Hello. Today we are going to talk about the socio-emotional needs and asynchronous development of gifted learners. And we're going to talk about some strategies that we can incorporate into our classrooms. To start off, we're going to talk about the talents of gifted children. Some talents of gifted children are to retain information fast and store information in long-term memory. Gifted children have an easier time learning complex and abstract concepts and have a passion for certain topics. How these gifted children feel about their talents are overwhelmed, different, and alienated. They feel helpless in solving world problems and people expect them to be perfect. They feel targeted and labeled by their academic achievements. Now, for asynchronous development, children with asynchronous development, they tend to have a different rate of development. Their emotional and physical development is a lot slower than their mental development. Their mind seems to develop more quickly. The asynchronous children tend to need modifications to help them develop appropriately. Resources and people that can help asynchronous developmental children are parents, teachers, therapists, and counselors. Next, I'd like to talk about the twice exceptional students. I've never heard about this term until this class, and I was really intrigued by learning more about it. These students who are gifted and have a disability. Some of their disabilities can be ADD, ADHD, Asperger's, etc. They usually are talented in one area and tend to focus only on their strength, causing their academic performance to be inconsistent. So now we're going to talk about the strategies that can help these learners grow. One strategy is to provide students with regular feedback, show students how to monitor their own behavior, keep them in routines, let them develop certain habits, positive habits. And I thought the self-recording example would be super cool to help students understand, like, through themselves when they're having a bad day, they can just play a recording from when they had a good day. Using self-talk skills, thinking out loud, helps students become mindful of their thinking. All students should be exposed to social and emotional environments in order for students to work on this part of their development. They should each establish positive and supportive relationships with their peers. Examples are group learning, discussions, social games, mutual reading, lab partners. All of these different types of activities can help them in their social emotional growth. I really like the Chutes and Ladders game with their vocabulary and the puppet show for math problems. They don't do well just sitting in front of paper. They need to interact in order to learn. So link lessons to their personal lives as well. That helps a lot, and their interests. I'll get to that on the next slide. And after reading a story, have the students act out the main characters. Students really like to show interaction. It's a big part of their development. More strategies are each student has a different experience and thinks differently. So we need to be aware and make sure that they're able to express their thinking and feelings through the different types of thinking. So for example, if you're visual, you want to express your feeling through art, painting, puppetry, collage, music, etc. If they're more of a pattern-like thinking, they're gonna probably want to use their skills in math and computer technology and those kind of things. Also, as a teacher, if our students are struggling, it's always good to have popsicle stick names to provide clues and hints for these students. It's not always so nice to ask other students to help out that student. It's nice to just lead them and guide them to the right question. Teaching them breathing techniques and meditation. I work with a classroom 10 hours a week, and I see the teacher use meditation and breathing techniques before her lessons after the bell rings. a couple more: mental rehearsal for physical practice, self-control, motor skills. Parents at home can use games like Xbox and Wii to help them stay active. Usually, students, gifted learners, tend to not want to play as many sports. They want to stick to their certain skills. And then provide students with choices. So if you give them choices for whether they want to read a book or do homework, certain things like that. So they have breathing room to make their own choices and be responsible. My last slide contains what we can do as teachers. What we can do, we can help students understand how important they are outside of their academic achievements, help them adapt to strengths and weaknesses, protect them and make sure they don't feel pressured, incorporate the child's passion in their lessons, protect gifted students so they're not overwhelmed by all the resources presented to them. We can create an environment where everyone is accepted. I really enjoy making sure each and every one of my students feels comfortable in groups and in their environment. Exposing the students to different developmental experiences, learn their strategies and relate it to their concepts to try and make learning fun for them. For asynchronous developmental learners, they need to make sure their uniqueness is exposed and let the students be aware of their gifts so they can develop properly and appropriately. And that is what I believe that we as teachers can do to help these students. Thank you.